Some special parallelograms. First one is a rhombus. We obtain a rhombus, which you will see is a parallelogram, as a special case of kite. Kite is a quadrilateral where diagonals are perpendicular to each other. So we can consider, or by pre-consideration, rhombus can be considered as kite, but we can prove with the help of its properties that it is not a kite, it is a parallelogram. Note that the sides of rhombus are all of same length and they are not the same in kite. Therefore, rhombus is a type of parallelogram. A rhombus is a quadrilateral with sides of equal length. Since the opposite sides of rhombus have the same length, it is a parallelogram. So, rhombus has all the properties of parallelogram and also that of a kite. Try to list them out. You can then verify your list with the checklist summarized in the book elsewhere. Here adjacent sides are equal. The same thing is here. Adjacent sides are equal. Then diagonals are perpendicular to each other. In rhombus also diagonals are perpendicular to each other. So these are the common properties of kite and rhombus. First property of rhombus is diagonals of rhombus are perpendicular bisectors of each other. As it is a parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other, but the special property is they are perpendicular to each other. Next one is a rectangle. A rectangle is a parallelogram with equal angles. Sum of angles of a quadrilateral is 360 and all angles are equal. Therefore, each of the angle is 90 degree. So, it is a parallelogram with one angle 90 degree. As one angle is 90 degree, its opposite is also 90, its adjacent angle is also 90. Properties of rectangle are diagonals of the rectangle are of equal length. Diagonals of the parallelogram are not equal. They bisect each other. But diagonals of rectangle are equal. We can explain this with the help of activity. Let us copy this diagonal. Now if we rotate it, so this becomes a second diagonal. So diagonals of rectangle are equal. Diagonals of rectangle are equal. In the rectangle, the diagonals besides being equal in length bisect each other because it is a parallelogram. So the diagonals bisect each other and at the same time they are equal. Next parallelogram is square. Square is a type of rectangle where adjacent sides are equal. Basically, it is a rectangle because each angle is 90 degree, opposite sides are equal. These are conditions of rectangle and they are satisfied by square. So, square is a type of rectangle. But in square, diagonals are perpendicular to each other. They are equal because it is a rectangle. This is one diagonal. Let us copy this and paste it at the position of second diagonal. Diagonals are equal, and if we measure this angle, this is 90 degree. A square like rectangle has diagonals of equal length. they bisect one another, they are of diagonals bisect each other, are of equal length, and they are perpendicular to each other. Now let us summarize all this with the help of chart. Quadrilateral is a closed figure having 4 sides, 4 vertices and 4 angles. It can be classified as trapezium, parallelogram and kite. Trapezium is a quadrilateral with a pair of parallel sides, a pair of opposite sides, or a single pair, only one pair of opposite side is parallel. In parallelogram, each pair of opposite sides is parallel. So AD is parallel to BC and AB is parallel to CD, and this is a kite where adjacent sides are equal. These are properties of parallelogram. Opposite sides are equal, opposite angles are equal, diagonals bisect each other. Now these 3 are types of parallelogram. So these will satisfy these conditions or properties of parallelogram, and additional they have some their own properties. So rhombus is a parallelogram, so its opposite sides are equal, opposite angles are equal, diagonal bisect each other, and diagonals are perpendicular to each other. This is its extra property, and all sides are equal. In square, or let us first consider rectangle. Rectangle satisfies all these properties. Opposite sides are equal, opposite angles are equal, diagonals bisect each other, and additionally each angle is 90 degree and diagonals are equal. Now this square is a rectangle and square is also rhombus because it satisfies properties of both. Rhombus is a parallelogram with all sides equal. Square also has all sides equal. Diagonals are perpendicular to each other. Diagonals of square are also perpendicular to each other. In rectangle each angle is 90 degree. In square also each angle is 90 degree. In rectangle diagonals are equal. So diagonals of square are also equal. So square satisfies conditions of both or properties of both rectangle and rhombus.